Hey everybody, welcome back. We're here talking Chucky season 3, episode 4, the unfortunate mid-season finale
Yeah.
because of the strike, so we have a little bit to wait. I don't know if this says 2024.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a social media post saying January. I don't know if it's going to be that soon. But we'll see. I'll look again after this.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. I don't want to wait that long.
Yeah, I know you were saying it didn't leave you too much, like wanting too much more, right? It sort of didn't kind of hook you.
Yeah, I think it's weird for me because the last episode, was really like the big lean into this big Halloween party
Hmm.
event, right? And so I just expected more. This episode
Sure.
wasn't this episode a little bit longer?
It might have been a little bit
I
longer, but
think it was a little bit longer, but I just felt like there wasn't not as much happened as I guess I was expecting because
yeah,
it is the finale before we have to wait. And then again, they just built up this moment so much and it just felt, I don't know, it just didn't land as much for me as I just wanted more from it. I don't
yeah,
know, more chaos, more death, more.
a little, yeah. No, I know what you're saying because
Yeah.
I was expecting more to happen at the Halloween party. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, yes, we got a very fun death,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
I was expecting, I don't know, if sort of. eh, Well, what they've done in past seasons is like the big sort of cliffhanger moment is like either a main character dies or
Yeah.
or it's revealed that someone like realizes like Chucky's Chucky, right? Like this doll's alive.
There's something. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's usually one of those.
Yeah.
But let's hop into it. We sort of get two storylines. We have
Yep.
the prison storyline and then the
Yep.
Halloween party.
Yep.
Since it's the shorter, why don't we talk about Tiffany in the prison first? What did you what did you think about her story there?
I'm telling you, like, so I literally, right before we got on to record this, I just recorded an episode for another podcast where we talked about the Bride of Chucky and the Seed of Chucky. And I'll say the same thing I said on there. Them adding Jennifer Tilly to the storyline is probably the best thing that could have ever happened to this franchise because every moment that she's on TV, whether she's a doll or herself or Jennifer Tilly, is just gold. Like every second. How can someone have gone through all the things she's gone through and still be so naive sometimes? Like the way she interacts and the way she behaves is like, oh man, that scene with when she finally gets her voodoo stuff and she does the first one with the cook lady. I know I'm supposed to know who that is, but I have no idea who that is.
Who the actress is?
Yeah.
That's Nia Vardalos. I love her. So she's the main actress in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Okay, I knew she looked familiar, but I don't know. Yeah, so she gets to meet her there. She's like, "Oh, you're like my idol, and your book on organization like saved my life as a serial killer, like all this stuff." And they're related. And then she's like tells her that she killed her sister, and then suddenly she's like, "No, we can't be friends. Like you're a horrible human being. You're a monster." And she's like, "Well, she's not really my sister, right? Because she's not because she's Tiffany, not Jennifer." And but when she does that, when she's cooking and Tiffany gets the voodoo dolls and she starts doing all that stuff. I
Mhm.
was dying. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
The like movements, the choreography, like all the things that kind of went into making that scene. I thought that was so fun. I loved it. And
It
then I
was
liked the other one after too, but that one was like the highlight of the episode. I
Oh
think.
man. So Nia, yeah, so My Big Fat Greek Wedding, she's done other stuff too. She's really more of a comedic actress.
Yes.
So she does a lot of like slapstick kind of stuff and just more like it was sort of in her kind of wheelhouse to to marry the
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
And I love that she's playing this Evelyn, right? She's playing this sort of like murderous Martha Stewart.
Okay, because that was the thing I wasn't sure about. Because we've gone a little meta with like Jennifer Tilly being Jennifer Tilly, and
Right.
like so I wasn't sure if this was someone who was like actually this person. Like,
So I guess they could. So isn't Martha Stewart originally? I'm trying to think back to Bride of Chucky.
mhm.
Didn't Jennifer Tilly say or Tiffany say that she got the recipe from Martha Stewart? Or like didn't Martha Stewart get a reference in Bride of Chucky? I feel like she did.
I think so. And then, yeah. And then wasn't there one? Oh, I don't know. These are all melding together now because I watched so many of them back to back. Wasn't there also another time where Tiffany talks about Martha Stewart getting the death penalty. Is
I
that
think
Seed
so.
of Chucky? Or was that the show? I can't
I
remember.
don't remember, but Martha Stewart's been
But
talked
yeah,
about
it's
a
referenced.
lot. So
Yeah,
this is
reference.
supposed to sort of be, I guess, the Martha Stewart stand-in, like a famous chef, homemaker sort of person,
Organizer. Yeah, all these things.
organizer, right?
Yeah.
All like, and then who's in prison for, well, in this case, murder.
Murder.
But I love that we get kind of the origin of the Swedish meatballs. You know,
The
I
Swedish
love that they get
meatballs
the shout out.
changed my life. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's so fun, and I sort of, and I love that Voodoo for Dummies is Tiffany's mandatory religious text.
Religious text. Yes.
So good.
And I love how hard she sells everything. She's like, which legally I'm obligated to have. Like, she's like, really got to drive home that like they have to give her this stuff. And I thought that was
Right.
she's so great. I love her
It's so,
so much.
and then the other big twist of it is she uses the voodoo dolls to glamour the guard.
Hmm.
And she's going to sort of make voodoo dolls of all the guards
So she can get out,
so she can get out.
which I can't wait for. I cannot wait for that because it shows the preview for the second half of this episode. It looks
Mhm.
like she's not in prison anymore.
Like, yeah, I guess it works. So
So it
spoilers,
must
it
work,
works.
but I'm looking forward to that journey. I
Right.
think it's going to be really funny.
I hope they don't brush over it and like she's
Oh,
just
no.
already out of prison.
No, I hope not either. I want to see it play out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But that's really, it's a very short, sweet kind of storyline for
Mhm,
Tiffany.
mhm.
Yeah, like you said, like I'm just excited to like see that play out.
Yeah.
I need I need the next showdown between her and Nika.
Yeah, seriously.
It's gonna go down. Nika's got like probably a whole like artillery like
Oh my
ready to
god.
go for her.
Yeah. Nika is resourceful if nothing else.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite. I probably said in the last episode she's one of my favorite characters.
She's great. No, I totally agree. Yeah.
But yeah, so our main storyline is
Mhm.
Chucky playing Phantom of the Opera or Phantom of the White House. He's like around. He's got like this phantom mask. He's got the cape. He's all theatrical. Very funny. I mean,
It's adorable. It's so cute how perfect it fits his little face.
yes.
It's like a Build-A-Bear or something. I don't
They do a great
know.
job of making him so cute.
I know.
He's horrible.
He's awful.
But he's keeping an eye on the party. Jake, Lexi, Devin arrive. They're in good guy outfits, but all their like, I guess the weapons that they had planned all got checked. Like Lexi had like the hairpin. What did Jake have?
Jake had something on his lasso.
Oh, the lasso itself. I
The
think
lasso. He was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And then I thought they were going to be more smart. I thought they were going to be smarter than that.
Right. I guess.
And then Lexi was like, my costume's ruined. I'm like, really? Because your hair's down? Like, let me just say this. If I go through all of that to put my hair up, it's not looking that good when it comes down. Okay. So you just be quiet.
Man, that's yeah. And then I think Devin had his phone. That was it.
Yeah.
Devin didn't have like a weapon, but they were going to record. I guess the plan was they were going to record Chucky.
Yes.
But then so cut to Chucky's with Henry, and the parents get this nanny dressed like Mary Poppins. So I love her, Sarah Sherman. So this is their second SNL person this season. So because you had Keenan last week.
Yes.
Or in what is episode 2, one of the episodes.
Yeah.
And then Sarah Sherman played the
I don't
nanny.
know who she is. I grew up with Keenan and Kel, so I knew
Right. Everyone knows Keenan.
Yeah.
But Sarah, she's great. I think she's one to look out for. She plays this like wackadoo nanny who's like all into ghosts.
Yeah.
I love it. Like she's like plays along with Henry's like fascination with the dead and sort of like.
And then the mom is like, the first lady's like, she means no. And she's like, oh, sorry. Like she just like starts rattling off all this stuff to this like 8-year-old. I think he's 8. How old is he? I think he's 8.
It's like, yeah, he's like around there. But I love it. She's like, I've seen Lincoln twice. I've seen.
Well, she does that bit later where she's like, I can see all of them. Like, is she on drugs? Like, what is happening?
Total wackadoo.
She was very believable though. Like I bought into her silliness. Like,
yeah, so fun. Just a great kind of one episode character.
yeah.
But there's sort of a lot going on. All the kids sort of meet the president and the first lady. They get introduced. They go up with Henry's brother. Totally blanking on his name.
Oh no, Grant.
Grant, thank you. I always forget their names. And I have a
We
breakdown.
got Grant last time, but Henry was the one we couldn't remember. Either way.
Right, now it's swapped.
Grant.
Grant. So yeah, they go up with Grant. They're kind of like looking around for him. Chucky's nowhere to be seen at this point.
Lexi's leaning into the seduction.
But then but when we got these kids running around dressed like Henry and Grant's dead brother Joseph. Sort of so while they're up there, there's this
I
whole
didn't
illusion happening, and they're trying to
understand any of
psych out
that. Okay.
the president.
Yeah, is it a ghost? Is he delusional? Like I couldn't tell what was going on with that.
I think that's the sister.
Really?
I think that's the sister dressed like
As
the
Joseph?
brother.
Caroline?
Caroline. I think that's Caroline kind of in on Chucky's plan. Because she'd be in DC with Chucky. Somewhere hidden.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this setup is meant to make you question what's going on anyway. Because, like, for me, I was like, is he seeing ghosts? Like, what is happening? Like,
Well,
yeah,
so because Joseph's costume was like the Phantom costume, right?
right. Which is where the
what
doll
Chucky-
Joseph got it from. Yeah,
Right. So I'm assuming because it didn't look like Chucky dressed. It wasn't Chucky. It was a
definitely
kid.
a child.
It was a child. So that's why I think it's Caroline. But Chucky does end up down there, right? This moment.
Yeah.
Well, the power goes out, right? And then they're trying to rush everyone around. But the president's following, and he comes face to face with the doll, with Chucky. But that's what
I thought that was going to be it for Devon Sawa.
I thought that was going to be it. I thought he was going to assassinate the president right there.
In front of everybody.
In front of everyone. That would have been a wild cliffhanger.
I would have loved that so much, though, honestly. Because his deaths so far have been kind of, like, crazy.
Yeah.
Like the priest one was obviously the craziest. But even, like, being beaten to death by his son in the first season, it was like...
Yeah.
His deaths have all been very, like, overwhelming to the senses, so that would have been something where I'd be like, holy shit, like it would have been wild.
Which makes me feel like they're saving it.
It's probably going to be even crazier. Yeah,
it's going to be even crazier. They're saving it for the the second half.
Yeah.
But the big death that we do get, minus Evelyn in the prison, is this giant chandelier, which is great because we got Phantom of the White House, so of course the chandelier is going to
falls down. Yep.
Crushing like 7-8 people, something like that. So all these people are dying at this Halloween party at the White House.
Yeah, and then because we talked about this, and it's like up to this point, like the first lady's keeping it a secret that people keep dying there, and now there's no way to avoid this.
Can't bury that.
No, and then the nanny gets up, and I was like, how is she fine? And then all of a sudden she turns around and her face falls off, and I was like, oh shit, she's not fine.
Nope. Very, very funny death. I enjoyed that. But they also killed off the reporter. So that was probably my disappointment for this episode. That was the reporter that always was questioning the president and sort of being nosy.
The female, right?
Yeah. She took a picture of herself.
She took a last minute picture of the gore, right?
Right.
So I'm wondering.
So if they do try to cover it up, this picture exists.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to get out somewhere. Maybe Chucky.
Yeah. Well, how are they going to make all these people keep quiet?
They're not. There's no way.
You can't. I mean,
well, especially when your whole pitch is like a presidency with 100% transparency, right?
Right. I mean, they might like pressure him to try to keep it quiet. I could see it where like that's probably the next episode is sort of like, do we try to keep it quiet?
The image control. What do you do? Yeah.
But there's so many people there, right? So it's like, how do you can't, right? So that was I guess in a way that was kind of Chucky's coming out from the shadows, right? That was this sort of this big murder in everyone's face. It reminded me of the rolling head in the first season. That was sort of his big moment, like shit's going down.
Was that like the principal or something?
It was like the principal's head came from under the curtain
on the stage. Yep.
That was sort of like a hey, craziness is happening. So this was sort of his big like, it's going down at the White House. So people are going to start putting together that sort of like the security's suicide wasn't a suicide. now this. They don't know about the secretary yet, though. But
I
that'll
think
probably
that's
come
about
next.
to change, though.
Yeah. But I enjoyed that death a lot. I thought that was fun. A
That
little
was
too
good.
much CGI blood, though. Did you catch that
It
little
looked a
splash?
little cartoony.
It was very cartoony, which
Yeah.
I get with the face part. I mean, it's hard to sort of, but you can make a prosthetic. You can, like,
You
it
can. Yeah.
easily. And then I just didn't like that kind of little splash of blood at the bottom that was fake. That's the one that always like CGI blood. Always like I'm like, ugh, looks like a video game, which is good for a video game. you
Yeah,
know,
and it sucks because it's so cheap and easy to do stage blood.
it's just
I own stage blood. You know what I mean?
right.
Like you can get it from anywhere. Amazon sells it for really cheap.
Literally,
Like
all you had to do was hide stuff under clothes, right? And when it fell, it would just kind of all come out.
used out.
I don't know. I'm not in the biz, so I mean, what do I know? But I
Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought that was good. I think there was just something about it. I expected it to be like obviously like that falling and killing a bunch of people is a big deal. Obviously, like not trying to say that's not a big deal, but there was something about this buildup between our initial trio and
Mhm.
Chucky that just felt like it was missing something.
Yeah.
Like I felt like they know better than to just like barge in and like make an ass of themselves. And that's exactly
Mhm.
what they did. Cause now the jig is up. Like Grant has figured out
Mhm.
that Lexi is not being genuine. He doesn't obviously understand why yet, but
Yeah.
now that's messed up. And now I'm upset because I'm like, they had this really cute moment where they were like sharing music where I was kind of like, because when we talked about this, I said, I wonder if this is going to go in a direction where Lexi's going to like let her guard down and like have feelings again. Cause right now she's very guarded.
Yeah.
And then, but now it's already like ruined
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like
because
it's sort of like they've sort of messed up their in
100%
at
it's
the White
on now.
House,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this was tricky, I think, about the season taking place at the White House because it's like, how many times can they sort of weasel
Get
their
you.
way back?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
very
Cause
curious. I
yeah.
feel like with Tiffany out of prison, and like, well, now we even talk about sort of Chucky's aging has really so the reason why he has his mask.
It's
He's
because
he's
he looks old.
he's old. He's old. He's wrinkled, and he looked even worse in the preview for
Oh
the
my
second
God.
half.
I know he looks so crazy.
He looks like at the end of Harry Potter, Voldemort, like under the thing.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Or that part of SpongeBob where it's just like that old person, but it's a neck.
Oh, gross.
Remember that
Yeah.
one? It kind of looked like that
Oh no.
face.
Poor Chucky.
But yeah, so Damballa rejected him again. He killed
Yeah.
all these people.
Yeah. Mad at him.
So it's like I'm wondering, right? Like, what's it gonna take for Chucky to like? Is it gonna be like this? Is maybe he needs Tiffany? Like maybe he can do it, but maybe Tiffany can do it because Tiffany's got the ends with Damballa.
Yeah. She's been doing fine in prison.
Yeah, but you don't need Chucky anymore. I feel
Yeah.
like she's sort of like
Yeah.
I don't know if she.
They're like broken up.
They're
You know,
broken
like
up.
they're like a weird level of like not together anymore that is,
I feel like they're gonna end up back, sort of like he's gonna need her.
yeah.
So I wonder if she could perform the ritual
Yeah. And
for
she's
him.
very easily manipulated by him. So
Yeah. So that's probably I feel like what's gonna happen.
yeah.
Um, but overall, like I enjoyed the episode. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Bummed that it's a mid-season finale. You
Yeah, I'm ready
know,
for more. I hate that we have to wait, but I totally understand why.
yeah. I mean, I guess they had the episode, so I guess maybe they wanted to just sort of. But you know what is? It's also probably a bigger issue than just the show. The show might have had the episodes, but the network probably had so much stuff
It's
backed up
probably bigger than yeah.
that they needed it
Yeah.
to sort of be later.
Yeah.
So, oh well,
Yeah.
pay your actors, people.
Yeah. Pay everybody. Stop
Pay
being so
everyone.
damn stingy.
Oh God.
They're the reasons that you have the money you have. Cut that shit out. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah.
But
But
overall,
I'm excited.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts before we wrap up our episode 4 recap?
No, I think we covered all the main parts and bits.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us for our Chucky recap, and we'll be back in, I guess, a couple of months. See y'all real soon. Bye.